Welcome back to FineScale Modeler Weekly. I'm Kendra Bell.
And I'm Tim Kidwell. Today we have a bevy of kits and books for you to look at. So let's start with the ICM 1/72nd scale M3 Bradley.
Called a cavalry fighting vehicle, the M3 entered service in 1981 and has been used ever since. Armed with a two-man Bushmaster 25mm cannon turret and 7.62 coaxial machine gun, it can launch tow missiles and houses two 4-barreled grenade launchers.
ICM's kit is a reboxing of Revell Germany's kit, first released in 2001. Even now, it remains a cleanly molded kit. In the box, you'll find 5 gray styrene parts trees housing 148 pieces. There are parts for the M2 Bradley that you'll ignore. The road wheels, idler wheels, and drive sprockets build up from halves and attach to lower hull sidewalls with molded suspension. Link and length tracks finish the running gear.
There are no positive locators for attaching the assembled running gear to the lower hull, just a subtle key, so be careful not to remove it. The upper hull exhibits good detail, especially for a 25-year-old mold. You'll find tools, vision blocks, hatches, and hinges molded on. Although there is some interior detail on the inside of the rear ramp, it is meant to be posed closed. The exterior has a good-looking door and tow cable. You build the turret from upper and lower halves, chain gun and gun shield, and traverse.
Of course, you'll find a plethora of tiny parts to round out the M3, like head and tail lights, stowage boxes, grenade launchers, and the tow launcher and coaxial machine gun.
And while some of these may be a bit overscale, they should look the part when completely assembled. The addition ICM brings to the kit, besides packaging, is a new decal sheet. These allow you to mark your M3 Bradley for the 3rd Infantry Division, West Germany in the mid-1980s, 1st Cavalry Regiment, 5th Infantry Division, Mechanized, Fort Polk, Louisiana, April 1990, and the 197th Infantry Brigade, Mechanized, Operation Desert Storm, Saudi Arabia, 1991.
Fans of 80s Japanese sedans and sports cars rejoice because Tamiya has re-released its 1981 Nissan Skyline Turbo 2000 GTES and 1980 Mazda Savanna RX-7 1/24 scale kits.
Nissan introduced the 6th generation of the Skyline model in August 1981. For the advertising campaign, the company brought actor Paul Newman, familiar to racing fans, and made the catchphrase, "New Love Skyline," famous. Tamiya's kit first appeared as a motorized kit in 1981 and replicated the sporty 6-cylinder version. The subject remains the same, but the kit has been updated with a new instruction manual, decals, and packaging. Yes, it is a curbside kit, so no engine, but it has detailed parts for the McPherson strut and rear semi-trailing arm suspensions, and has posable front wheels via turning front uprights and polycaps. Vinyl rubber tires with accurate tread and Michelin branding wrap around silver wheels. Inside, you'll find bucket seats, detailed door panels, a center console with shifter and handbrake, and a good-looking dash and instrument cluster. There is also a driver figure that probably bears more than a passing resemblance to Paul Newman. Or that might just be me. An all-new decal sheet recreates logos and emblems and the instrument cluster, and the instructions provide 7 different body color options.
The Mazda Savanna RX-7 hit the market in 1978 powered by a 12A twin-rotor engine. The Savanna badging was used only in Japan, while the export version was referred to only as the RX-7. Tamiya's kit first appeared in 1978 as a motorized model, but was improved with new parts in 1981, and this is the first time it's been updated since. Spruce C's color has been changed from the original boxing from black to light brown to more closely resemble a leather interior. On that sprue, you'll find nicely molded interior door panels, the bottom of the gas tank, rear seat, and the front bucket seats. Note, the bucket seats do not have back halves, leaving the unfinished back sides exposed. The kit provides separate windshield and rear window wipers, an option to have the headlights modeled raised or lowered, and clear parts for the windows, sunroof, headlights, and taillights. The nicely molded radial tires wear Michelin branding, and the decals provide badging and gauges for the instrument cluster. A pair of die-cut masks will help when painting the rear windows. And like the Nissan, you'll also find a driver figure that looks a lot like Paul Newman. Or that could just be me.
Remember, these molds are going on 45 years old. Still well crafted, you'll want to inspect parts for flash and mold lines while assembling them.
True, but true to Tamiya's engineering, the beauty of these kits is the low barrier to entry. If you've never built a car kit, either of these would be a terrific first experience. Or if you've wanted a Japanese right-hand drive Mazda or Nissan for your collection, these would be an easy place to start.
This week we have 2 new books to talk about from Osprey Publishing: Partisan Warfare in Greece, 1941-44, and M18 Hellcat vs. Panther, Arracourt, 1944.
Volume 146 in Osprey's Dual Line, author William Highstand explores how the M18 Hellcat tank destroyer proved itself an able adversary against range, firepower, and mobility of the German Panther. In 80 pages, Highstand, with the help of photos and illustrator Richard Chasemore, traces development of both the Panther and Hellcat designs, reviews technical specs, provides an overview of the situation surrounding Arracourt, takes a deep dip into differences between German and U.S. armor philosophy and training, and analyzes how the M18 fared against the Panther during combat.
Osprey's 562nd entry into its Men at Arms series, Partisan Warfare in Greece, 1941-44, by Phoebus Athanasiou and illustrated by Adam Hook, presents a brief history of resistance fighters in Greece after the Axis occupation. You'll find photo references that are sure to inspire scenes for modeling, alongside narrative of an interesting but often overlooked facet of World War II. Included are color plates detailing uniforms and a bibliography for further reading. If you're looking to model an M18 Hellcat or interested in making an unusual vignette or diorama with Greek partisans as the focus, these books will help you do it.
Lastly, we received a pair of interesting limited-run real space models from a company called Micro-crux, based in Fort Collins, Colorado.
The first kit is a 1/20th scale replica of the Sputnik 1. A 3D printed press-fit kit, it doesn't need any glue or paint to go together. Inside, you'll find the parts bagged in simulated reflective packaging, an instruction sheet, historical fact sheet, parts for a stand, and a sticker. The Sputnik sphere comes in halves that are assembled with a short connector. The antennas are connected to a sprue and will need to be clipped off. All parts are molded in color.
Similarly, the parts for the Opportunity rover are packaged in a simulated reflective pouch. Another pouch carries a blend of simulated Martian regolith to add to your model's base. There is also gold foil for the warm electronics box and decals for the solar panels. Of course, there's an instruction sheet and also a sticker inspired by the mission patch. Overall, there are 33 3D printed parts to this kit, and as you'd expect, it's more complicated than Sputnik, requiring superglue to assemble and paint to complete. The instructions include generic color callouts, provide a QR code for reference photos of the Opportunity rover, and placement guides for the decals. We don't see a lot of real space kits come through the FSM offices, but it is nice when we do. Now, I will say the 3D printed kit parts don't have the finesse or fidelity that we've come to expect, but the kits fill a niche for family and educational markets with an affordable price point.
I feel like we've covered a lot of ground today.
Do you?
I do.
Okay. I do too. Look for reviews of these and more kits in the pages of FineScale Modeler magazine and at FineScale.com.
Where you can also find useful scale modeling advice to help make your next build better.
And don't forget to visit shoptrains.com for FSM back issues, tools, books, gifts, and more. Guys, you know I've got a problem. You have the same problem too, and that is you like tools. I was at the store the other day, I thought of you guys, and I picked this up. The AK Interactive Splatter tool. Now you're gonna say, Tim, we have toothbrushes that are gonna do the same thing, and they're gonna cost a fraction of what this cost you. And I say, yes, you were correct. But I saw it there, I bought it, and we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. As you can see, the brushes are color-coded. The green is long splashes and small droplets with greater spacing between droplets. The blue, short and fast splashes with small droplets, ideal for small scales. Okay. Orange, concentrated splashes of large droplets. And then black, Short, quick splashes with large droplets. Let's take a look on the inside of this box. We've got a foam insert. This is posh, right? I mean, I think we're paying mostly for the foam. It's a nice packaging. Here is the actual tool itself. For our test wash for splashes, I'm just going to use some Vallejo Model Wash, European Dust. I've got it already out here. Let's start with the green brush, shall we? So, go ahead and load the bristles. And obviously your distance from your subject is going to matter. So that is splashes and small droplets with greater spacing. Let's go ahead and do the blue one next. Okay. So blue is supposed to be short, fast splashes with small droplets, ideal for small scales. The orange, concentrated splashes of large droplets. So this is soft. And then the black, which is short, quick splashes with large droplets. All right, I'm going to set that aside and let's take a look at our splash patterns. And here's my handy dandy toothbrush. Now this toothbrush is a stiff one. It's a pretty fine pattern there coming off of that one. And this is a softer bristle toothbrush. Oof, look at that. Boom, some serious splatter. So my toothbrushes, and am I overwhelmed by this tool? I mean, it's the first time I've ever used it, and obviously, yes, there are lots of variables about the wash and how far away and how close and all this other stuff. But at first glance, okay, all right. I think I'll give it a couple of tries on a model or two. That is the AK Interactive splatter tool. You do get different splatter patterns from using the different bristles. But right now, I kind of like my toothbrush.
So you were at another show this weekend, Tim. Could you tell me about that?
Yeah, I was at HeritageCon up in Mount Hope, Ontario, Canada on March 29th. Spectacular show. Lots of great people. The models are really, really good to look at. 960 plus models, almost 1,000 models on the table. So just like packed, and a crowd of people that came in. So we shot photos of models, which you're working on a show gallery for. Mm-hmm. And I took a bunch of video and tried to get as many of those almost 1,000 models into that video as possible. So sit back, enjoy, and see what I saw. I was at the Hobby Star. The Hobby Star. The Hobby Star. All right, here we go again. Yeah, no, I flubbed it.
All right, let's get back.
I flubbed it. It's my fault, Kendra. I'm sorry. Ah, Kendra McPherson. Of course. Curse. Curse. I'm reading Macbeth right now, so that's of course.